Welcome to the second module of Core Cloud Services. If you are watching this video first time, then don't forget to watch the previous module in the previous videos where we talked about core cloud concepts. Let's continue to this module, Introduction to Azure Services. Here, simply we will talk about learn what Microsoft Azure is, which we have already talked about, so we won't discuss much about it. Then we will have a first-hand experience on deploy a website using Azure App Service, learn how to scale up your website to give you more compute power, use Azure Cloud Cell to interact with your website. So let's continue. I hope you are interested and excited to do it as I am. Let's do it. So first, Azure Services. Introduction to Azure Services. There are many services now in Azure, but those can be divided like this. So if we see here, platform services, infrastructure services, and software as a services, which are here somewhere. So let's start with the platform as a service. You see here media and CDN, which gives you, I will not go in detail for every service. I'll just give you an overview. So media services, media analytics, and content delivery network. If you know, content delivery networks are used um, for your, let's say, video streaming websites. So your content is delivered to next most near to your customer, so that they can use it and have a good experience. You have application platform, web apps, mobile apps, API apps, cloud services. We will talk about them a bit later. We will have practical experience how to use web apps and API apps. You have data, which you can use SQL database, SQL data warehouse, Cosmos DB. Cosmos DB is really interesting. It is globally available database which for which you don't have to configure according to regions and zones, so you don't have to worry about it, and your data is available globally. SQL Server, um, SQL Server database, as Azure Cache for Redis, which is also interesting. Table storage, Azure Search. Then compute services, you have virtual machines, you have container services, you have Azure Batch, Dev and Test Lab. For developer services, of course, you use Visual Studio, Azure DevOps, Application Insights, Xamarin, Visual Studio App Center. For analytics and IoT, you have HD Insight, machine learning, stream analytics. You have a lot of things actually. And for intelligence services, you have cognitive services. I have used cognitive services for my um, uh, text analysis. Actually, it's pretty good for sentiment analysis. And for infrastructure as a service, you have compute services, which includes virtual machines. You have storage, which includes blob storage, file storage. And then you have virtual network. For networking, you have virtual networks and virtual network gateways, a lot of things. We will talk about them one by one in a while. So let's talk about Azure Virtual Network. It connects virtual machines to incoming virtual private network connections. Simply, you have then in networking, you have Azure Load Balancer, which balances inbound and outbound connections to applications or service endpoints. Then you have Azure Application Gateway, which optimizes app server farm delivery while increasing application security. Then you have Azure VPN Gateway, which is in same way with high performance for the VPN gateways. Then you have Azure DNS for ultra high domain availability, provides ultra fast DNS responses. Then we have already talked about Azure CDN. We have already also for the security we have Azure DDoS protection. For traffic management we have Azure Traffic Manager. For fast delivery we have Azure Express Route, which connects to Azure over high bandwidth dedicated secure connections. You have Azure Firewall, which implement high security, high availability firewall with unlimited scalability. So we will talk about them a bit later. Um, you have also for the IoT devices, you have IoT Central, Azure IoT Hub, and IoT Edge. You need to really remember these things uh, for the exam, that why you should use IoT Central and why you should use Azure IoT Hub. So IoT Central is fully managed global IoT software as a service solution that makes it easy to connect, monitor, and manage your IoT assets at scale. Azure IoT Hub messaging hub that provides secure communication and monitoring between millions of IoT devices. So just get the difference here, and one of them will be in the question paper. For the big data, you have Azure SQL Data Warehouse, you have Azure HD Inside, you have Azure Databricks. So for you should remember this. For big data, you have Azure SQL Data Warehouse, which run analytics at massive scale using cloud-based enterprise data warehouse that leverages massive parallel processing (MPP) to run complex queries quickly across petabytes of data. Then you have Azure HD Insight, process massive amounts of data and managed cluster of Hadoop clusters in the cloud. Then you have Azure Databricks, collaborative Apache Spark-based analytics service that can be integrated with other big data services in Azure. You will have a question in question related to these three, or it might also include Azure SQL Server. So you will have to then answer in question paper. So remember the difference between Azure SQL Data Warehouse and Azure SQL Server and Azure SQL Database. So remember the difference, and you will have for sure one question in your question paper. Then you have artificial intelligence services, which includes Azure Machine Learning Services, Azure Machine Learning Studio. So Azure Machine Learning Services are simply cloud-based environment you can use to develop, train, test, deploy, manage, and track machine learning models. It can auto-generate a model and auto-tune it for you. It will let you start training on your local machine and then scale out to the cloud. So it is to develop, train, and test, deploy, manage, and track machine learning models. And Machine Learning Studio is simply drag and drop visual workspace where you can build, test, and deploy machine learning solutions using pre-built machine learning algorithms and data handling modules. So remember the difference. You will have it in your exam, I guess. Also for DevOps, Azure DevOps, you will have it in your exam. Azure DevOps and Azure Dev Test Labs. So DevOps are simply for CI/CD, let's say, just to remember it. So continuous integration and deployment, and as you dev test labs quickly create on-demand Windows and Linux environment you can use to test or demo your applications directly from your development deployment pipeline. So also remember this, you will have it in your uh, exam. In the next module, we will have hands-on creating a website hosted in Azure portal. So I have this link here. I just have to click and go to that. If you haven't created your account, you have to create an account. You see here, I'm registered. That's why I have this sandbox. So sandbox activated, time remaining 3 hours 37 minutes. You have used one of 10 sandbox today. So if I'll give the link in my description below and you can easily use it and you can create a sandbox. It's free of use. What you just have to have is your Azure account and you don't have to use your credit card or anything. It's a free subscription for testing purpose only. You can have a sandbox activated here and you can just create your first Azure service. And in this link, you will see the group, resource group is already created and which name is like this. Yeah, it's a really big name. And yeah, so just to have practical information, I'll go to my Azure portal and select this resource group. So if we see here in this sandbox, I'm using my own account and the sandbox, the one I created, which is Microsoft Learn Sandbox. Let's continue.
So let's create a WordPress website. You can create other websites as well. I'm just gonna show you how you can do it. So let's go. Brings me here, and then I select create a resource, and then it gives me a search bar what to search for. So I will search simply for WordPress. Create. So it is asking me for a unique name, for an unique name, because it will be uploaded on azurewebsites.net. So I simply say um, tech of the day, and it is searching for it if it's available or not. And I will say WordPress. It has already selected my subscription, which is Concierge subscription. It's a Microsoft Learn Sandbox subscription. Resource group. I should create new resource group. Why you do not have permission to create resource groups under subscription concierge? So I should use already created resource group, which I can find here. It is learn blah blah. I can add a database provider, Azure database provider, MySQL in app. I will select this one. App service plan already selected. And then simply database settings. I will create new database which tech of the day WordPress MySQL DB server. Server name password I can choose any password. Let's say tech of the day, and we need one special character, so I will add and one, and so all the terms and conditions fulfilled. Tech of the day one, and password matched. I can choose pricing tiers, which one I want. General purpose, memory optimized. I'm gonna have basic one because I don't need to have more. I'm not gonna use it, so I'm gonna have simple like this. Okay, and that's all. We are done for the database. Okay, then application insight. I don't do anything. Apply and create. What it is doing, it is simply very validating my inputs, and it did not create, which was expected actually, because disallowed by policy, code request disallowed by policy. So this wasn't allowed, and it was for a reason. If we go back to the exercise here, we search for it, create, and here it says I need to create an app service plan. I should create a new one. I should not use the existing one, and that is why it didn't work. Simply as simple as that. So I will create a service plan. I should WordPress website where it should be hosted. I would say North Europe. North Europe. Pricing tier I would select S1. Okay. And then let's create. Once you have created your service, then it should be in notification, and it should be here that your app is running. To verify if your app is running, you can just go to your app um, directly, and you have your URL here, so you can directly visit your app. Once your deployment is succeeded, so your app should look like this, and then you can check your work. Let's create a new app service. I'm in here. I came here, like I just clicked, and from my home page I clicked app service, and I don't have any. I recently did this one, but it's not uploaded. I can create a new one, and it has selected already the subscription I have. I can select the resource group I want to, and then I can simply say which one. So tech of the day, web apps. I can select, it should be unique, so the name should be unique, and I can select if I want to publish it using Docker container or simply by code. dropping the code. So I'm selecting code. I have the runtime stack, what it is, so I can select even .NET Core 3.1, which is the latest. Not even many people using it. So you won't even find it in web hosting providers online. You have many like GoDaddy, Namecheap services. They don't provide these things actually, but Microsoft is providing you latest .NET Core framework as well. So I will select 3.0. Then operating system, I have selected Windows. It has already selected App Service Plan for me. And let's go for the monitoring. Do I want to use application insights? Yes. And then go for the tags. I create a new tag, learning apps. I have already used it, and I said video for this one. And tags are created to simply separate the costs. So I can just simply filter on tag and say which service is using how much resources and how much money is allocated. Then I can review it and simply create it. It is taking some time. Development deployment failed because of policy violation. Please see the details. Because I created already another one in this sandbox, and I think they don't allow you to create multiple web apps. So I have already this one, which I created just before this thing. It is running and up and running. And for the access, you have this direct access, no FTP deployment user set, FTP hostname. You simply can deploy it using these endpoints. For other activities, you have security, backups, application insight, which we chosen when we were deploying it. Scale up, scale out plan. I can write my scale up plans. So in case if there is so much traffic to my web app, I can simply say do this, select this, do this. So I can simply scale up. Same way for scale out, I can add one more. There is no history here, but it can suggest me if there was so much traffic, then it will suggest me to add one more scale up or one more instance of my web app. I can simply add one more instance. I can add locks. So locks are simply to have you write over the resource. Simply, you don't want other people to delete your resource, even if they have admin rights, so that they don't um, ruin your whole work. And you even have resource health, which says about the resource how it is working. It doesn't have many things because I just deployed it 11th January. You have App Service Advisor, which advise me on the performance, app service performance, and some new things. I can make a request. So that's all for the app service plan, for the app service experience. Let's have an experience. How can we use access an app service using Azure Cloud? So the app service we just created, we can access it through the cloud. So using this link, you can go to this Microsoft Docs, and it will create environment for you so that you can directly access. the app service I just created. So it is, you see, requesting cloud cell succeeded, connecting to terminal, and I am ready to use it. So if you now you can just uh, check out anything or do anything using this Azure Cloud Cell. You see here, I just want to list output all the accounts I have. I'll simply copy this, and it says I have this concierge subscription enabled true. Then I want to see my resource groups. How, how many resource groups I have, then I will type group and list them. Output format is table. So it will tell me all other resource groups. I have only one, which is created by default by this sandbox. And in this, I can filter my websites or web app I just created. So I will say you should know the name of your website or type. So I don't know that. I'll just simply say, and then I can say resource type Microsoft dot web slash app. It did not find because the one I created is here, and I need to search the type because I did not create the website, so it will not show me the website. Okay, I was typing it wrong, that's why. So this says I have identity ID is this one. It say tell me all the information about it, and then I can simply stop my web app. I can start it. I can do anything. I will not do it. Uh, so that's all to how you can use cloud Azure Cloud Cell in your service. So let's do the knowledge check. Oh, let's go for the knowledge check. Let's continue with the knowledge check. So, what is Azure? Microsoft's cloud computing platform which provides compute power, storage, and services over the internet using pay as you go. Simple, I guess you won't select. It's not a data center located in Redmond. The hosting environment, especially for virtual machine, it's not only virtual machine. So simply the first one. Which of the following is an example of Azure application platform? This is a bit confusing because uh, this is how they also do it. They test you. So which of the following is an example of Azure Application Platform: Azure App Service, Azure Load Balancer, Azure Table Storage, Cache for Redis. I think this one. And should you scale out your deployment when your application or service requires a more powerful CPU, more memory to run faster? It is for scale out. When you scale up, you increase the capacity of your CPU or computing power. So for a scale out, you just increase one more instance. So when you need additional virtual machines to speed up your application, I think this one then. Let's check our answers. Correct. That's all in this module. Let's